Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we will take a look at a rather interesting question, namely whether or not the NPCs of the Great Tomb of Nazarick will find out eventually that the undead Overlord Ainz Ooal Gown isn't the hyper-intelligent supreme mastermind that he feels he has to pretend to be, but just an average lonely guy that desires friends and a social environment that accepts him. But before we answer this question, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel. Now, most of the time our lovely little bone boy doesn't have any idea what he is doing. For example, he realized far too late that he accidentally ordered the new world to be conquered, but he plays along with it since now everything has already been set in motion, and Ainz would consider it a betrayal towards all of the hard work and time the NPCs have spent already in order to achieve his supposed dream of world domination. And yet, everyone in Nazarick treats him as the hyper-genius mastermind whose wisdom is only met by the brilliancy of his long-term plans. So the question is, could the NPCs of Nazarick eventually find out that Ainz Ooal Gown is just a fraud? Now, Ainz only recently started to act as an overlord, and he didn't have his strongest hand gestures and his silence gesture ready at the start. Additionally, his minions are many, so therefore there should be a considerable risk, at least theoretically, of discovery. Furthermore, there are some really perceptive NPCs inside of the Great Tomb. For example, Negredo, Albedo's older sister, is remarkably good at spying on people. Others, like Demiurge, are hyper-intelligent in their own right, and they were furthermore blessed with demonic wisdom, and they are well versed in many schemes and manipulations, while Albedo, the floor guardian overseer, is not only hyper-intelligent herself, but she's also romantically interested in Ainz, which led her to develop at least some kind of emotional understanding of Ainz already. For example, Albedo accurately perceived that Ainz, prior to Shaltier's mind control and his resolve to battle her to the death, always looked like a child that wanted to run away. So given all of these circumstances, will Ainz be discovered? And I think not. At least not from the NPCs of Nazarick, since they are bound in seemingly absolute total obedient loyalty and admiration to any of the 41 supreme beings. The only exception to this pattern is if two players had a feud going on, which would cause NPCs they have created to dislike one another, and by extension the creator of the NPC they are disliking. And it seems to me that no matter what Ainz does, any NPC will always take the most favorable interpretation of his actions, no matter how outlandish or implausible they are. As Demiurge has once fittingly put it, if Ainz would say that, for example, the color blue is red and the color red is blue, then they would clearly assume that their eyes and ears must have deceived them, and that Ainz must have had some higher insight into the matter, something that mere NPCs simply can't understand. And if Ainz would later correct himself and openly admit that he made a mistake, and that of course blue is blue and red is red, then the NPCs might just interpret this as a test of loyalty, and then they would be very thankful that they believed what Ainz Ooal Gown said, and held the approved opinion. So from this front I don't believe any discovery is even possible, with the exception of Albedo, for she loves Momonga, so maybe this means not only his avatar, but the human behind it. Therefore she might be in a unique position to discover Ainz Ooal Gown's darkest secret. But even so, Ainz is able to use mind control and memory alteration in order to prevent her from spilling the secret. And even Albedo's perception is more akin to that of a loving wife, which is able to understand her would-be husband on an instinctual and almost supernatural level, instead of her having a higher insight into the machination of Momonga's mind. And in my opinion, the realest danger to Ainz Ooal Gown's image as the brilliant overlord and master schemer comes from the climb enthusiast they recruited into Nazaricks' service, Renna. For one, she is easily able to keep up with Demiurge and Albedo on an intellectual level, despite her just being a normal, New World normal, you know what I mean. Despite her being a New World being. And secondly, precisely because she is a New Worlder, she lacks any of the ties to the guild of Ainz Ooal Gown, and of course to its leader, that all of the other NPCs have. The supernatural bond that keeps them loyal to their death and beyond is missing in Renna. And third and finally, she as of now is an imp, with access to all of the strategic insight into most of Nazaricks' endeavors, and Renna had proven herself to be supremely talented when it comes to the gathering of information, and her insight into court politics shocked both Marquis Raven and her brother immensely. So if anyone would be in the right spot to discover the many inconsistencies in Ainz Ooal Gown's behavior, and acquire enough insight and information to interpret them in a less favorable manner, then it would be Renna, though again Ainz could just mind control or memory wipe her in order to keep this information a secret, and since Renna is not an NPC, Ainz will be far more scrupulous to her in order to keep his secret safe. Additionally, Renna has no understanding at all what Yggdrasil truly is, or what NPCs truly are. So she, supposedly like the Dragon Emperor, might just think of Yggdrasil as a quote-unquote real parallel dimension, instead of a fake world inside of a much less magical one. And that's pretty much it. So what are your opinions on the matter? Let me know down in the comment section. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Yee, Ben C, Chrissy, Sia, Death is Mercy, Dystopia the Second, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch V. Britannia with a mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Mr. Shoes, Michael R, Michael Y, O'Kill, Paddy Pantom, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video. Over and out.